right, Rivergate gang, we back, episode 11. It's going to be kind of a unique episode for a couple of different reasons. I'm building up onto this hillside. This is right across the street from our little John Francis Devereaux Preparatory Academy. I'm building up on this hill. You know what that means. We got to use a lot of keys. We keyed up. We moving keys.
You got 14 bricks right there?
So that's what we doing on this episode. I'm definitely going to make sure I node control that so I can make it sharp. We're going to lay out the most rudimentary road network. I mean 2 or 3 streets. I want this little neighborhood to feel like a micro development. You know, if you didn't get your application in early, there was no chance of you getting in one of these apartments. They were basically already rented once they built them. So here's our little space. Just gonna run a couple of streets to kind of connect everything up. A little bendy street, but let's straighten that out. I did like the bendiness, but it can be straight. Smooth everything out so that the hill has a nice gradient. I didn't want to flatten it out. I want the hill to kind of be a part of it. And the first step, I always tell people this when they're building new communities, is concern yourself with your pedestrian paths just as much as your road network. Man, roads is cool, especially in my city. The city is so small that people will just walk to stuff. You don't have to have a car in this city. It's tiny. We only got 4,000 people, man. So I'm gonna make sure I spend a little bit of time making a nice little overpass down to that bottom layer. And I'm also gonna tap it with that node controller to make it sharp as a 95 Steve Harvey hairline. I'm gonna use a couple of rocks in some funny places, but mostly it's just gonna be bushes. I do want to spend some time on this little backlot area, but just probably not in this episode. Since I don't know how to transition this, probably gonna be some Brooklyns and Queens. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, but I don't have an idea for that yet. So we just gonna dance on this with a few of those bushes and some live oaks. Let's slide this one behind the fence. Make everything look nice before we get to the hard work. It's not really hard work. It's gonna be light work. Let's go ahead and get into the houses. I'm using predominantly just a lot of these to make the development. I'm gonna use a couple of different joints up here. Maybe the development will be right here, and I'm gonna put me a little market area right here, make it look real nice. This is probably gonna be my first like actual market, not just some assets. I may even throw in an invisible block to make it functional. Right now I'm gonna lay out the tiniest of 1-unit road networks and connect up them pedestrian paths. The game will prioritize pedestrian paths over sidewalks and stuff, so I even use them in little tricky ways to make people walk, you know, around a tree or through a little tiny park that I built. You know what I'm saying? I'm laying out some of the modern condos, and you know what? I'm not liking how this feels. This feels a little segregated, man. Nah, man, we gotta mix these up, man. Everybody gotta. We shall overcome in Rivergate, man. So let's mix these in. Let's mix the bricks and the tans. This is the Rainbow Coalition, and we're gonna make sure you can get to them back porches. I'm gonna lay out this one commercial asset, but I think this is gonna get recoed into an apartment building. Maybe not though. Let's just leave it as a commercial. But I'm definitely gonna have fun detailing the front side because it's just blank. I'm gonna fence up the back, just kind of get this ready to be detailed. We're not gonna do this right now. Right now we're gonna do this market, man. But look, we got people already using our paths. That's good stuff. Got homegirl walking looking like a GTA hooker.
My first pimp used drugs to turn me out.
Make sure y'all tap into her OnlyFans, man. She need that money. Meanwhile, we're going to lay out our eco-commercial asset. It's a public market. It's plain Jane, but the outside, we're going to detail that up. So you go inside if you need some eco-friendly dish detergent. Come outside if you need your fresh fruits and vegetables. Got pomegranates, quinoa, all that. These is college kids. They will listen to like Lofi. So let's listen to some Lofi in detail.
I need someone to be patient with me. Someone to get money when I take it from me. They don't even need to be as famous as me. I don't think I meet them at the places I be, but deep down I think about you all day, mommy. I know I'm a pit bull, but darling, mommy, I just wanna take you on a holiday, mommy. Say what's on your mind, I'ma call away, mommy. Come and rescue me. Take me out the club, take me out the trap, take me off the market, take me off the map. I'm tryna hit the group chat and tell them it's a come and rescue me. Take me out the club, take me out the trap, take me off the market, take me off the map. I'm tryna hit the group chat and tell them it's a
I didn't come this far just to come this far and not be happy.
Okay, remember that. You didn't come this far just to come this far. Yep. I saw it on the
I need you, yeah, I really do. Tell me what to do.
Okay.
Tell me what to do.
Okay.
Tell me what to do. All I know is hit the mall to see what.
Nothing too major, but y'all know I gotta make stuff look nice so I can feel like it's finished, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and hit y'all off with another episode of that Rivergate, man. Last time we seen my boy Johnny Frank, he was in New Brunswick, man. He was out in these streets sliding, putting in work.
Shot a couple of niggas, cut up some folks.
So let's go ahead and get into that. Y'all hang around.
During the summer of 1863, John Francis and Abigail were married and welcomed their first child, a baby girl, followed by another addition to their family a year later. By this time, John's legal and illicit business interests were in full swing. News of his sister's death finally reached him, but John Francis still had reservations about returning to the war-torn region of his birth. Despite authorities becoming aware of his dealings, he maintained a ruthless stranglehold on the streets of New Brunswick by night, while during the day, he disguised himself as an ordinary entrepreneur. However, this facade was not destined to last. One faithful night, in a tavern just outside of town, John Francis found himself caught in a run-of-the-mill barroom brawl with a man he had an ongoing feud with. The situation escalated rapidly, and John skillfully got the better of the man and his henchmen. In the heat of the moment, the man drew a pistol from his boot, but before he could fire, John Francis swiftly pulled out his own weapon and fired 2 shots, tragically killing both men, who happened to be white. Realizing the consequences, John raced away from the tavern on his steed. It was well known that the man John shot was the son of a local constable, and this meant the full weight of the law would crash down on him, regardless of his self-defense claim. While the police scoured the back streets looking for him, John Francis decided to abandon his opulent lifestyle and sought refuge at local dock houses, meeting with his cohorts and henchmen, informing them that his only option was to run. He wrote a letter to Abigail, providing her with instructions for travel and money. However, Abigail, a good Christian woman with small children, would hear nothing of it. She was disgusted by the revelations of his clandestine activities. Determined to protect her family, she secretly packed her belongings and boarded a steamship headed for London without anyone's knowledge. Meanwhile, John Francis made his way from New Brunswick through Toronto and finally crossed the border, arriving in the bustling town of Chicago. The story continues in the next episode of Hidden Legacy, the saga of Rivergate.
Alright, the plot is getting thick, man. It's real on the field for my boy Johnny Frank. Got the white boys on him, laws looking for him. It's going down. I don't know what's going to happen with him right now, but I know what's going to happen with us. Because, look, we got people delivering they products through our market. We can't have that. We need to build a loading dock little area. And I know this street is super small. I know this is kind of unrealistic, but just for my OCD, I need to build me a little place where these eco-commercial products, these farm products, is that what they're called? Agricultural products, my bad, can get delivered. So let's change the fence around just a little bit, and we're going to add a little loading dock right here on the side. Maybe it's just really small vans. Maybe I could put a policy on in our policies that doesn't let the big giant 18-wheelers come up here, man. Maybe just the smaller vans can come. I'm gonna also go ahead and put a little bit of love into this spot. I know I'm gonna have to detail this up before the episode's over because it's bothering me now, but it's not time for that. It's market time. I found a pack of assets on the workshop that I really haven't seen anybody else use. They're just props. I'm gonna go ahead and, hopefully it's on the screen. Should have been on the screen. Is it on the screen? All right, get off the screen. That pack there's so many. That asset creator made so many little variations. I got just one pack, but y'all can see I'm kind of detailing up our little market. I really wanted to feel for this people in this little upper community, this little keyed up community. I want it to be like, of course, we get off the bus. We walk across the overpass. We go through the market. We grab, some fruit. We grab a smoothie right here at the little food truck, the little healthy food living. This is a staple in their community just as much as a candy store is a community, staple in the community of the people over in the projects, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I really kind of wanted it to feel. Like everything was really built in, really lived in, even though it's not been here for as long as everything else. Let's swap this out for like this little fish taco spot or something. And now for the Coupe de Gracie, we gonna detail up this little backside. This is bothering me, man. We gotta do something. Y'all hang out. I'm gonna speed this up. Little tiny keyed up community. My next episode, I can't promise y'all it's gonna be short, man. I go in a little bit. So like, comment, subscribe, keep telling folk. Appreciate y'all. Y'all the goats. Wouldn't be nothing without y'all. Cinematics.